Hello, I'm doing this is my last marker test on all these, I think it's 14 papers, different brands of paper, different types of paper, 2 synthetic papers. This time I'm doing the Royal Talens Pantone markers. Where'd that come from? Some moisture. All right, here we go. Just need to pick which ones I want to use. I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors. This one there's a 9-pack of colors. Whoops. And let's see. Violet is one, then green, and then red, and then what's next? Blue. Is this blue? Blue enough. Yellow, and then orange. All right. Put this over here. Maybe use it to get this wire out of your view. But maybe is that good? It's good enough. That's probably better for you. All right. Can you see that? Yeah, looks good. Cool. All right. I'm going to be using the brush tip. Which is the brush tip? I think this is the brush tip. Nope, that's not the brush tip. This is the brush tip, yeah. So I want to turn all of these around, making sure I keep them in order. So I'm trying to keep them all in the same order so that when I compare them, see, like here's the Prismacolor, and I want to try to keep all the colors the same so that when I compare them all, I'll have some kind of order to them. And I'm going to be doing it in layers. Here, I'll show you. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, so that you know what it will look like with when you do more than one stroke. I did that. Okay. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. On the 2 synthetic papers I have, one is made of calcium carbonate. The other is polypropylene. I think I pronounced that correctly. And in the stack of papers, I actually have Pantone paper. Didn't even know they made paper, but I mean, if they make markers, they might as well make paper too, I guess, huh? It's a good yellow. Blue is too dark. Green is a little dark. The red is perfect, I think. This violet is too dark, I think. Well, on this paper at least. Orange is good. No bleed through. Cool. It's arches. I think this is from France, I think. Been around since the 1500s, I think. I want to say 1492, but that's the year that America was discovered, so that would be a long time. Maybe not 1492. You could probably look it up. I guess maybe I'll look it up, and then if you're interested, it'll be in the comments for arches, at least, when they were founded. And I'm pretty sure they've been around for at least 100 years, more than 100 years. As if it's 1492, that's some serious time. Oh, these are water-based markers, if that's important to you. And I want to say these are made in England, Germany, made in Germany. Royal Talens is from Germany, so yeah, these are made in Germany. So I'm guessing the paper, the Pantone, I keep saying it differently each time. I'm guessing the paper is also made in Germany. This is one of the synthetic papers. This is the polypropylene paper. Hope I pronounced that word correctly. I think this is the one that it doesn't dry very quickly. Yeah, it's seems so wet right now. Gonna have to do something about it being so wet. Let it dry longer, maybe. Yeah, it's very not drying at all. At least that's what it seems like. I'll touch it in a moment to show you how wet it is. If I have another piece of paper, yeah, I have some scrap paper I'll use real quick to show you how wet it is. What is this? This should be fine. And you can see how wet it was. It looks still kind of wet. Let me do it one more time. Yep, still pretty wet. Yeah. It's water-based, and it wouldn't have dried quickly. Should I have let it dry on its own so you could have seen it and how it would have looked over time? Yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and do that to show you what it would have looked like if it had dried properly. Yeah, I'll just put a little dot this time above. Yeah, no, I'll just do one dot on each one so you can see how it. I'll do a streak at the top, and I'll let it dry separately from the others, because what I'm doing is I'm just stacking the papers on top of each other so that when at the end, I'll go to compare them side by side so that you can compare them side by side. But this one's not going to dry very quickly, so I'm just going to kind of not put it on top of the others, and hopefully that'll be okay. All right, next. One, two, three. Yeah, some of the papers, they absorb the liquid quicker than others, like the Bristol paper, and some of them are rougher and some are smoother. So that can make a difference on how much or little it absorbs, maybe even reflect. See, like that I can barely tell that's blue. These two, I can barely tell there's a difference between the two. That yellow is pretty dark, I think. Orange looks good. Yellow is darker than I would have liked, I think. Could be just me being picky. But this is the 5th one I've done in this series. So, yeah. I'm getting reflections of the liquid from the light. It's hard to tell how it looks. These two, I can barely tell the difference in color. I mean, there is a difference, but it's negligible. Negligible. The green's good, red's good, yellow is good, orange is pretty good. Doesn't look like it's dried properly, but yeah. Oh, this next paper, oh, it's synthetic paper, so I don't know if I should call it paper, but this synthetic paper is the, this one's the calcium carbonate one. I don't know if I mentioned there was one that was calcium carbonate. I don't know if this one's acting the same as the other. It's still pretty wet. Really wet. I'm gonna have to do that thing I did earlier with blotting it with the some extra paper. Hopefully I have one similar to the other one. Guess I could just use some copier paper. I should have remembered it does this. Yeah, it's still pretty wet, and you can see it's bleeding on all over the paper. Let me see what I have. No, that's a synthetic one. That should be okay. Yeah. This looks still pretty wet. I'll have to do that little line I did last time, like I did the other one, so you can see how it dries over time. A little streak at the top, like last time, so you can see how it looks at the end. You could always skip to the end, of course. If you've watched these videos already, you know that you can skip to the end, but you won't know why I'm doing this, of course, unless you're watching every minute of it, or you see me doing it, and then you're like, what is he doing? What is he doing? Hopefully that works out. Oh, I should have shown you that there's a little slight bleed through, but that's probably just because the paper is so thin. there wasn't any significant bleed through on the others so far, or I would have shown you. I'll try to remember to do that later when I'm comparing them side by side. Maybe it's just me that the violet and the blue are just really dark. And that's just simply the way it is. Bleed through. The paper is pretty thin, so I can't really. The other ones, the weight of the other papers was thicker, or however you're supposed to use that terminology. Again, slight bleed through, but I don't want to blame the paper, but it's really thin. Not sure why this is a specific paper for markers from Winsor Newton, and not really sure why a lot of these marker papers are so thin, but I guess it is what it is. Maybe there's a reason for that, why they seem to be so thin. I almost marked where the green one was supposed to be. Can't think and speak at the same time, apparently. Not very good at multitasking, apparently. Yes, I know some people are of the opinion, maybe not an opinion, it could be fact, that there's no such thing as multitasking. True multitasking. The ability to do more than one thing at a time with your mind. I'm guessing that's how it would go anyway. Again, thin paper. Not much bleed through on this one, really. The Borden and Riley. This is the Pantone paper that I spoke of. Maybe I didn't speak of it, but Pantone has markers and Pantone has paper. Even on the Pantone paper, I mean, it's better. It's slightly more violet. Maybe it's just the blue. Maybe I don't like the blue on that one. On this, the markers, I mean. Bleed through. I mean, there is some, but I wouldn't call it significant. It's the Copic paper. You may know about Copic markers, but they also have paper. All the products that I have here that I'm using, except this paper, is from Blink Art Materials, Dick Blink, and all except for this one. This one I had to get from Amazon because they didn't have this particular paper, the heavy marker paper, I think it's called. Still pretty dark. Maybe I just don't like that blue. I can't remember if there was a lighter blue. No, there's no other blues that I can see on here. Guess it is what it is. No bleed through on that one. Got 2 more to go. 1 more after this one. Not much bleed through, but it's pretty thin paper, so still kind of not dry. Maybe because it's water-based. I think this one bleeds through. I think this is the one that bleeds through on there, like that. Guess we'll find out. Kind of a blotchy kind of thing going. Maybe, I guess, didn't bleed through this time for whatever reason. Or maybe it was a different paper that I remember. Or maybe it's because it's water-based, but it's kind of blotchy on this paper. It's the Strathmore marker paper. But yeah, you can see it's It's thin paper, like all the other marker papers except for the Pantone and the Copic for some reason. Both the Copic and the Pantone are pretty absorbent, but maybe they're trying to sell markers by absorbing more ink. All right, now it's time for the side-by-side comparison. Making sure it's in frame. Oh. Do the bleed for each one. This is the try to blot out, see if it's still not dry. No, still not completely dry after all that time. Oh, no bleed through on that one. Not much bleed through on this one. I think that's from this one, maybe, or one of the ones before. Not much bleed through on that one. This is the other synthetic paper. I don't know if that's from the, but you can tell how much they bleed into the paper. No bleeding through, but bleeding on, and it's dry-ish. Let me see. No significant moisture on it, so it's dry. This is the calcium carbonate one. This one was the polypropylene one, the synthetic papers. Oh, sorry. Blotting the bleed through. This is the Bienfang marker paper. Significant bleed through on this one. This one got some not so dry from the, if you can see in the video, there we go. This is from the dang it. From the Borden Riley. Didn't let it dry long enough, I guess. I got some there. Yep, still not dry. Yeah, there's some slight bleed through on its own. But I didn't know it wasn't going to dry. Still not dry. Doesn't appear to be dry anyway. Bleed through, not much. Let me go ahead and blot that so that it's dry now. Yep. Hopefully it's dry enough now. If I'd have known it was going to do that, I would have blotted out before, because I hadn't noticed. Or didn't think it was significant. Or I was talking too much. It's a lot of bleed through on that one. This is the Copic paper. Significant amount of bleed through on that one. Unless it was, no, it's right on the other one. Couldn't have been so accurate. No, pretty sure it's not a bleed from this one behind it. I've used the Copic paper before, and it does bleed pretty often. It's very absorbent of the markers that have been on it, including the Copic markers. Some bleed on that one. And there you go. Yeah, this is the last of the marker series. I hope you appreciate the effort and the presentation that I did for you. I hope it helps someone in choosing a marker and or paper. All right, thank you, and have a good day.